right. Um, I hope you guys are doing well. Um, I hope you wrote down all the stuff on the whiteboard. Students who are going to watch these videos, I'll also have a picture of this, so you should be able to make your own notes. Before I get started, I just want to go through the roster quick. See who is all here. Geneva,
Here.
Elliot,
Here.
Sophie,
Here.
Aiden, here. Yvonne,
Here.
Jack, Sia, Easton, Reed, Madeline, Kiera,
Here.
Krish,
Here.
Addie,
Here.
Dara, Shelby. Okay. We are missing some students. So if you're watching this video, make sure to follow this. This is a pretty important class. Couple of things. If you're taking the April or the June ACT test, please remind your parents to, if they're interested, to register for the ACT review on April 6th. Some of you have already signed up, so that's a pretty first important one. Second is I hope you guys have done the homework. Looks like a lot of people have responded to that one saying that they have done the homework. So we're gonna pivot today to science. You have done English, math, reading. All sections have been done so far, except the science, which is the last section of ACT. So I want to ask students here who have taken the real ACT. Is there anyone who have taken the real ACT before? Okay, Sophie. Anybody else? Sophie, you want to tell everybody what you felt when you got to science section, which is the last one?
I felt like I was confident knowing, because I'd taken your class before, looking at the questions with more graphs, and it was easier and gave me more confidence going through the science to the harder questions.
So Sophie, imagine you had not taken the class and took the test. Would you have felt tired, and what do you think?
Yeah, it being the last one, you are definitely tired after reading and stuff. Yeah, I was tired.
And many times you'll be downright hungry as well. I cannot tell you, we spent a full hour there talking about the ACT science, and almost all of them have taken the test there and what they felt. And almost everyone said that they're hungry, they're tired, they want to get the hell out. And you will feel the same if you don't practice and stuff like that, what we're going to talk today. So thanks, Sophie. So really, really important that this can change your score very, very quick. So I had a student, she's from Sioux City, really good student. First time she took the test, she took her class and she took the test. She had a 35 in English, 34 in math, 35 in reading, 24 in science. She bombed that one only because, not that she couldn't, she just told me, Manoj, I had no energy left. I couldn't focus. So you'll see those two words quite a bit, and you'll hear this from me all day today. The thing that will make a difference, and we're going to be especially particular starting this year onwards, and we're going to really push for the full practice test. Our students do well taking section tests, science tests, one day, math. We're going to push this one. All the students I've talked to who have done well or who have not done well, they tell me one thing: I wish I'd done the full practice test. I'm glad I did the full practice test because now I know exactly how I felt. Sounds good? So there will be a shift from the 15 years of what we have been doing science. We're going to have a little shift, okay? And you'll see it from today itself. What else? Anybody else who have taken the real test? Okay. All right, let's get started. And you did write all these things, so just listen up right now, okay? So, just like ACT reading, ACT Science has 35 minutes, 40 questions. Reading is the same exact. Reading has 4 passages, science has 6 passages. It used to be 7 passages. So the book you guys will be using today, this one, you will have 7 passages in this test. Okay? The 10 to 6. I would have preferred 7, honestly speaking. 6, they have made the passages longer. So I would have preferred 7, but we are dealing with 6 passages. So you have 52.5 seconds per question. So it's gonna just literally zip by. I cannot emphasize this, how fast this is gonna go. Especially if you lose your attention, if you're thinking about something else, by within a heartbeat, it's like, oh, almost the test is done, and you'll be left with like questions. So, people, you may be wondering what SRT stands for. So an ACT Science is not a science test. It's a science reasoning test. So if you want to write down that word, what does SRT means? It's a science reasoning test. So what's the difference? In a science test, you have to know the physics, you have to know the chemistry, you have to know the biology. This is a science reasoning test. They will give you the information. You'll have to comprehend the information, do some data analysis, and answer the questions. All the information will be given to you in the science test. You just have to look at it, understand it, and answer the questions. Sounds good? So I remember there was one student from, not New Horizons student, she was from Omaha, Nebraska. In 7th grade, in science test, she got a 36, perfect score. So that shows that she didn't know chemistry, biology, physics, but she was able to comprehend the material. So this is a reasoning test, okay? So as I said, you're gonna hear this all day long about the significance of these two. You have to have done a full practice test, preferably 5 of them, before the April test, because that'll give you an idea how it feels. Trust me, guys, you're not used to it. Your schools are like what, a 1-hour test, 45 minutes test, and you go there, you spit it out what a study guide says, and you get a good grade. This is not anything close to it. This is going to be around 4 hours. All the instructions, the breaks. So if you're not used to it, if you're mentally focused, you're done. You just, especially reading and science. So, before the test, full practice test. During the test, you have to be focused. Absolutely laser focused. Every 1 point increase in ACT score. Let's say you had a 28 in composite score, and let's say you get a 29. That's approximately $8,000 to $10,000 increase in scholarships. This is directly converts to your money and admissions. So, and this can make your life or ruin your life very easily in science test. I'm not kidding. So we just had, I was telling a student, an example, fall 2021, we had a student from Bishop Hill High School in Sioux City. She had done wonderful in English, math, and reading, but science she had a 25, and she had to get a good score. She wanted a 30. So she took her program, she went through all the strategies, practiced. She got a 34 in science. She went up by 9 points. She not only got into Notre Dame, but also got a huge scholarship. Sounds good? So our science scores have really gone up lately. Even 2023, we had a lot of students go up by 8 points, 7 points, 6 points, even 3 9-pointers. That's 21 to 30, 25 to 34, and I think one was a 2735. That was an 8 point. Imagine that, right? Huge money at stake here. What's the difference between ACT science, reading, and the English and math here? In English, it's all about grammar, right? Grammar rules and how to apply it. You know the rules, you apply it. English is fixed, right? It's a constant. They cannot tweak, they can make it tough. They just can't. Math, you know for sure that the first question in math historically is the easiest. And as you go to 60th, it historically goes up in difficulty. So you do the first 20, next 20, and next 20. That's simple. We have been doing this for 16 years, no problems. DL stands for difficulty level, if you want to write it down. All right? Okay. But in science, in the 6 passages, it can be all over the place. Passage in one test can be very easy. In next test, it can be really hard. October 2019, I specifically remember, passage 1, 2, 3 were really difficult. 4, 5, 6, 7, at that time there were 7 passages still, were very easy. So students who did 1, 2, 3 did not even finish the last passage because they were drained out of time, drained out of their confidence. They felt like giving up. So what we're going to spend today, the entire hour, is to talk about strategies that has helped our students do well. 98% of New Horizons students use these strategies. Only 2% have their own ideas, and I'm happy about that. So let's get started here. Okay, listen to this very carefully. So first of all, you have to have a watch during the science and reading test for sure, so you can track time. Not a smartwatch, of course. Second, when the supervisor says to start the test, it's a paper-based test, so you're ready to start now. This is what's going to happen. Every one of our New Horizons students will do it. So if you see people flipping the pages, you know they are New Horizons students because that's how they have been trained. Take 45 seconds to scan all 6 passages, literally flipping the pages. This will come to 25 to 30 seconds by the end of the semester. You'll have done enough to do this quickly. Right now it's 45 seconds. That's pretty high. So when you flip the pages, when you're flipping and looking at the passage, physically looking at the passage, what are you looking for? You're looking at a passage that has very less reading. More reading, more time consuming. More time consuming, more frustration. Sounds good? Second, you want a passage you want to do that has more graphs and pictures. Graphs are an excellent way to get to the answer. Same with pictures. Tables are not recommended. Tables should be pushed last. More reading should be pushed last. And if you're dealing with tables, which you will eventually deal with tables, there are different types of tables you deal with. One is the size itself. A large versus a small table, you prefer a small table. And there will be tables which has all these words and phrases and statements compared to data tables. Data tables are preferred. So ideally you want to go to a small data table compared to a large word-based tables. And then it's very important to know that 2 small tables is better than 1 large table. So size really matters. One of the students was asking, so I made this comment here, do we read anything when we are scanning this? No, you don't read anything. You don't read the passage, you don't read the questions, you look at it physically like, okay, the feel of it. So do not read the passage, get the feel of the passage. Sounds good? So, and this is called the discussion type. A discussion type has no graphs, no tables, nothing. Just resembles a reading passage. Sounds good? Should be done last. The other term for this is called conflicting viewpoints. Many students historically have lost majority of their points in this passage because you're at the last. They're usually tough. Need more time. So these are the few reasons why they don't do well. If you do enough of this, it's going to help you here. Fair enough? Okay. Now, I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to read through this one more time. And oh, by the way, this is not in this order, okay? It's not like first you have to look for reading, and it's the combination of these things, okay? So I would like everybody to make a note in your, make a point in your notes. Use your judgment for the selection of the two passages. And this is not in the order. That's very important because the other group was still thinking this was in the order. Nope. Okay, good. So take a few minutes to read through this. Understand this. The worst thing that will happen is not know this correctly. And by the way, we would have done enough practice today and throughout the semester, so when you go to test, there is no ifs and buts about it. Sounds good? You'll have crystal clear of how to approach the science test. Go ahead, 2 minutes. You guys good? Okay. Get the blue book, please. Page 808. All right, here's what's going to happen. So listen to the instructions carefully. This has 7 passages, but you only selected first 2. Okay? So let's say you select 2-4. A 2-4 is different than a 4-2 because you always want to start with the easy passage first. Okay? Only 2 out of the 7. It usually takes 45 seconds, but as this is the first time you guys are doing, I'm going to give you guys 1.5 minutes time. Look at this. Use your judgment. You want to get to the, and remember, you're not reading any questions. Your time starts now. 1.5 minutes. You select 2. So, one of the things I've told the other group, and I'm going to tell you guys this: the only way we can be impactful is if we ask questions and participate. Okay. Otherwise, it's just I cannot share my experiences. I cannot bring back what has happened. So, I expect you guys to be very involved and be participatory in this particular session, because otherwise it's very hard. First, let's open to online students. Anybody from online can tell me what is the first two they've selected?
I chose 4 and 5.
Okay. Sophie selected 4 and 5. Did anybody select 4 and 5? Okay. No, so far. Any other combinations? Online
I
students.
had I had 5 and 6.
How many had 5 and 6? We're not doing really well so far. Okay, but this is how you learn. This is the way to learn. Anybody else? Okay, let's open it here.
I had 5 and 2.
5 and 2. How many had 5 and 2? Okay, I had one more here. Okay, 2. Yeah.
5 and 7.
How many had 5 and 7? Say 1, 2, 3. Okay. Any other combinations?
I had 3 and 7.
How many had 3 and 7? Okay. All right. So you can see we're all over the place. Am I right? And that's what happens initially. By the end of the semester, here's the goal. 4 in 5 students should select the first 3 correctly. So 80% of our students should select the first 3 correctly. That's how important it is. So let's see. 1, 2, okay. 3 not okay. 4 not okay. 5 is very good. 6 is not good. I would do 5, 7. Again, in the real test, is there anybody else to compare with? No, you don't. Right? You should practice enough that you feel like others would have the same thought process. Sounds good? That's how important it is. And I cannot emphasize the gravity of the situation. You select the wrong passage, you are absolutely magnificently screwed, because you're going to take so much time to finish, and you're going to drain your time and confidence, and you'll never get out of it. I've taught 7,000 students. I don't have to say anything more than that, so this is important. On page 808, just as a teamwork, we're going to write down 5, 7 right now. And I want you guys to fight this. If you think it's wrong, let's rebuttal. People who have any other combinations can rebuttal. I may be wrong. If you want to support to your passage, sure, bring it on. Don't give up. Just because you're saying, I'm saying 5, 7, oh, let's go with 5, 7. No. Yeah, Aiden.
I would say that 5 is the best to start off with because it only has one graph and there's no tables, there's very little reading, and it just seems more simple. And then 7 would be the best one to go on to, again, because it's graphs and very little reading and a diagram.
Somebody did say 2. Who said 2? You said, which one you selected?
I chose 5 and 2.
Okay. 5 and 2 is not bad. Okay? It's not, again, right or wrong answer. So 5, 2, and 5, 7. So 2 and 7 are pretty close. So if you selected 5 and 3, or 3 and 7, 3 would be a problem for me. 5 and 2, I'm okay. Make sense? So I'm also going to focus on how this is going to impact. So did anybody select 4 by chance? I don't remember. Did anybody say 4? Okay, 4 would be awful. Okay, so that's the thought process. I want you to do that. So we did, yeah.
Would you say you would end with 4 or would you end with 6, in your personal opinion?
End?
Yeah.
No, I want to keep it open right now.
Sorry.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay, so we have selected 5, 7, everybody, to be on the same page. I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds to select the next two. Your time starts now. The next two. Time's up. In the real time, in the real test, I would have given only 20 seconds. So, time goes like this. So, let's open to the face-to-face students. We did 5-7. Anybody wants to volunteer? Yeah.
2-3.
How many have 2, 3? 1, 2. Anybody online? 3, 4. A lot of support for 2, 3. Any other combinations? Yeah.
I had 2-1 for the combination.
No. No. 1 is this.
Okay.
Discussion type. That should be done last. Okay? Okay. So, any other and again, this is how you learn, right? Make mistakes. There's fun to it. There's always fun to making mistakes. Then you know what not to do. That's the biggest problem in education right now. If you make a mistake, it's considered a bad thing. Oh my goodness, that's not intentionally, of course, but if you make mistakes, that's when you're actually putting your best foot forward. Then you know your brain is thinking like, okay, so yeah.
I said 2 and 6, but now I'm realizing that would be the best option.
2, 6. Look at the size of 6.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 and did you say 2 and 3?
Yes, 2-3.
Yeah, 2 and 3 is not small, but it's just that there is a graph that can solve a lot of. Have you heard the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words?
Yes.
In ACT science, it actually literally helps you that way.
So would you have said 3-2?
No, 2, 3.
Okay.
2, 3.
Is that because it's just a smaller table?
Smaller table, and table one has words, and
It's only one of them.
it's only one of them.
So
And
having like numeral data is better than having like a paragraph.
yeah,
Okay,
data, small tables.
got it.
Small data tables, and 2 small tables are better than 1 large table. I remember there is one passage in this book. I'll not tell you what it is. When you'll figure it out someday when you do it. It has only 1 line and a table, and always students select that. Oh my God, there's hardly anything to read, but the table is so big and there is so many words in it. They start doing it. They're like, oh my God, why did I select it? So let me tell you something I started adding this year onwards. If you start doing the passage, which you will eventually do it, and you come across a passage you have selected, and you felt, oh my God, the questions are very difficult. You want to skip the entire passage and move to the next one, because you do not have time to waste. Sounds good? We'll talk about that later on, but just a reminder that if you feel not 1 or 2 questions in the passage, but the entire thing, and you'll know it, you'll feel it. Okay. Any other combinations? We had 2, 3, 2, 6. Anything else? Online students, any comments? As I mentioned, you got to participate. I would go 2, 3. So let's decide 5, 7, 2, 3. Write it down. And remember, in the real test, there's nobody to compare with. So. All right. Now, we are left with 3 passages, not 2, because we have 7. I'm going to give you guys 20 seconds to decide the order of the remaining 3. Your time starts now. 20 seconds. Time's up. Tell me. Yeah.
641.
How many have 6, 4, 1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anything else? Yeah.
I have 4, 6, 1. Because I think 6 has bigger tables.
I would go 6, 4, 1. Look at 4 has words and statements, the tables. I cannot emphasize enough, Kara, that this is such a bad thing. Let me put it this way. They look nice and cute, they screw you later. So you definitely don't want to fall into this trap. I cannot emphasize enough that the selection path, remember we are spending the entire hour on this, right? I'm just on the 45 seconds to select the passage. That's how important it is, because if you get this wrong, you won't finish the science test. You absolutely will not. So 5, 7, 2, 3, 6, 4, 1, right?
Yes.
Good. Now move on to page number 7, 2, 3. 723, everybody. All right. Now let's get a little bit more serious here. This is another science test. Now we're going to try to replicate what happens in the real test. I'm going to give the time. You have 45 seconds max to select the 2 passages. Your time starts now. 45 seconds. Your time's done. All right, that's good. Let's do this. Let's see with online students, anybody can volunteer the first 2 you have selected.
I chose 5, 3, I think.
How many have 5 and 3? Okay, nobody else? Anybody else online want to volunteer any combination?
I had 6 and 7.
How many have 6 and 7? Nobody? Okay. Let's do face-to-face students. Yeah, go ahead.
I felt 7, 6.
So 6, 7, 7, 6. Okay. All right. How many have 7, 6? Okay.
I have 4, 6.
Anybody has 4, 6? 1, 2. Okay. Yeah.
5, 6.
How many have 5, 6? 1, 2. Still not doing well as a team, right? We are all over the place. That's okay. 1. Mm-hmm. 2 is not good. 3 is really not good. 5 is really good. 6 is good. I would do 5, 6. So take your time to think about. Again, I just don't want you to write 5, 6 because Manoj said it. Think. Fight it. Who said? Did anybody say 3? No.
I had 3, second to last.
Okay.
My question is, why wouldn't you say 4? Because there's little, there is 2 tables, but there's not that much reading. And the tables have numbers in them.
And 5 looks like a lot more complicated.
Yeah, that's true.
Now remember, 5 has graphs, right? Graphs are the easiest to get to the answer. It's not about difficult or easy in terms of concept, it's how fast you can get to the answer. 4 is not bad at all. But remember, when we practice, tables are never a preferred. If you have graphs, go with the graphs. Somebody selected 7. I think I heard 7. 7 is not bad as well. But compared to 5, 6,
I was just rushing it. The graph caught my eye, and that's what I jumped to.
again, this is how you learn, right? This is how you learn. And in the real test, she would have gone with her choice. And there's nobody else to rebuttal at the time. But I want you to practice enough that you need to know that the first 3 will decide the next 3, the last 3 will decide your entire score. Simple. So, write down 5, 6. Again, this is just for our group to be on the same page. In the real test, it's all yours. All right. I'm going to give you 20 seconds to decide the next 2. Only 20 seconds. Go. 5, 6, next 2. Time's up. Let's go. Yeah.
7, 4.
How many have 7, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. Okay. Any other combinations? 7.
I had 4, 7, but it's like
Okay. Well, that makes a difference.
I put 4, 7.
I would have gone 4, 7. I would have gone 4, 7. Yes. 7 has 1 table, 4 has 2 tables. Agreed. So that's why 7, 4. But 4 has less reading, 7 has a lot more reading. So I would have pivoted towards 4, 7. But you can see how close they are, right? Will 7, 4 make a huge difference? I don't think so. I don't think so. But a 5 and a 4 or a 5 and a 7 to begin with would have made a difference. That's why I always focus on the first 3. Okay. So we have done what's now? Remind me. 5, 6, 4, 7, right? Okay, listen to this. What are we left with? 1, 2, 3. Am I right? So just put yourself in the real situation here, guys. The test has started. If you didn't attend this program, you would have started with passage 1, passage 2, and passage 3, right?
Yeah.
Our students are doing the passage 1, 2, 3 last. This is exactly what happened in October 2019. This is a replication of what happened in October 2019. I'm glad we came to this test to understand you would have stopped there and you just waste time. Your time starts now. You're left with 1, 2, 3, 15 seconds. Time's up. Yep.
2, 3, 1.
Anyone have 2, 3, 1? 1, 2, 3. Yep. Any other combinations? Yeah.
I had 3, 2, 1.
I still want to look into this one. Two, 3, 1. I would have gone with 2, 3, 1. So 5, 6, 7. No, sorry. 5, 6, 4, 7. 2, 3, 1.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So on the online test, if you were to take the ACT online, are you able to jump from like?
Yeah.
Do you have to do it in order?
So this is where so that's why the strategies we are teaching you guys is for the paper based, right? Online we don't know. There's nothing out in the market so we can buy and make you guys practice. What students have told me who took the online, like Nebraska students have to take state testing through computer based, they told me that they just went 1, 2, 3 in that order. They just didn't want to even experiment because nobody knows how it feels. So I'm hoping they don't go to online for everybody soon. But yeah, So once we get an option in the market of how it feels, I'm going to take the test and say, should I flip to passage 1 to passage 2 to passage 3? How much time it takes? Is it worth it? So all this is for paper pencil based. Okay. You guys good?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Go to page 6. Six, 3, 5. And here's what's gonna happen. I'm hoping we select the correct first two. So we have 5 here and 5 online. So 10 students. I want at least 5 to match the first 2. Okay? And I'm gonna give you guys 40 seconds time.
To just do the 2 or all of them?
Just the 2.
Okay.
Your 40 seconds, go. Time's up. All right. Let's see. Anybody from this side want to volunteer? Gotta learn. You're gonna learn to fail.
I say 7 and 3.
Anybody matching 7 and 3?
I did 3, 7.
Okay, let's assume they're same, but
Yeah.
they're not. But I'm gonna go with today. 7, 3, 3, 7. How many have? 1, 2.
Can I argue against that?
Yeah, I want to see what you selected though.
Okay, so I selected 3-1 because 3 because it's less reading. There is 2 graphs, which do look slightly complicated, but I feel like that's better than a lot of reading and a math and a figure.
One's really long though.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you select? You said 3 and 1.
3 and 1.
How many have 3 and 1? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any other combinations? We have at least have 5 which have 3 and 1, so we'll met the requirement, but we'll see. Any other combinations?
I had 3-1, but I was also really iffy about like 6. I was gonna go like 3-6.
No, not 3, 6. You mean 3, 7? You mean?
No, 3-6. I was thinking 3-6, but then I chose 1
3,
over 6.
Oh, sorry, 3, 6. Okay, I was seeing the wrong one. Okay. How many selected passage 3 as the first one? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. That's a good one. Okay. Because that is an absolute no-brainer. Okay. A 3-7 and a 3-1 are pretty damn close, have their own reasons. Cannot say one is better. 3 is, of course, is done. So if I have to pick, if I was doing a real test, I would have done 3-7.
So you would pick a graph with numbers over just a bunch of information and data.
And it's not that simple, honestly speaking.
It's more just personal preference.
Personal preference at the time, because you're talking about like 50.1 and 50.2. That's how difference. Reality is they are very, very close. The advantage with 7 is there's hardly anything reading wise, but there's a table. But the table is data, which is better than
simpler.
simpler. 1 has 2 pictures, which is good, but a little bit more readings. So remember, you're making that decision in a split second, right? You don't have much time. So will a 3.1 and 3.7 hurt? I don't think so. Make sense?
Yes.
I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.